Hey Manipal, I hope you're doing well. In 1886, Robert Louis Stevenson wrote the popular story of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, in which the doctor created a potion that would separate his good side from his dark side, thus transforming himself into man and to beast. However, the beast over time began to take over and he began to transform involuntarily into the violent Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll wanted to hide the beast he was within himself. Isn't it true that we often want to do the same thing? We can feel this temptation to throw away all of our sadness, anger, guilt, anxiety and loneliness into a Mr. Hyde type and hide them from the whole world. Some of us have a Mr. Hyde hidden within. No one knows about that person other than you. How do you deal with it? I personally think the best way is to bring it to the Lord in prayer. Did you know that Jesus brought his emotions, his feelings before the presence of the Lord? Moments before he was arrested, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed this prayer. You find it in Luke chapter 22, verse 42. He said, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me." He had that burden and he poured it before the Lord. But he submits himself to the Lord saying, "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." You see, Jesus took his emotions into the presence of the Lord. And look what happened in response. Verse 43 says, "Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him." You see, when you're honest, God listens and faithfully answers your cries. But when you lie and when you try to separate yourself from them, those unsaid, buried emotions will begin to find their way to the surface and take over. Are you completely honest about your feelings before God?